You do have a rudder to steer it around with. Plenty of power. Watch this. Punch out. Plenty of power. Hey, welcome back to Motion RC. Today we have our 64mm F-16. This is one of our newer releases. This is the hand toss, or you can put your wheels on to fly it. But today we're out here at a grass field and we're going to be hand tossing it. I've had some questions. I am going to leave my little ventral fins on here. I haven't had any issue tearing them up. The one thing I do is take my pitot tube out. It just slides in and out. So whenever I'm belly landing, I slide that out so we don't end up tearing it up. Another thing that I've seen a few customers have issues with, make sure when you set up your airplane, you're setting it up by the manual and using the center hole on all of your control surfaces. You may not have enough throw if you don't set it up like that. Anyway, we'll give you a full report on CG and battery report at the end of the flight and kind of go over some of the things that we recommend doing on your model. But for now, let's get it out here and let's get this up in the air. Ready?
Go for it.
Full throttle and hand toss it, and it's got plenty of power, guys. No gyro in the model right now. I'm gonna go back to power off. We're gonna glide it by here. This is such a stable flying airplane. We've got about a 5 to 10 mile an hour gusting wind today, right down our grass strip. Turn it in for some high alpha. This is a great airplane to learn your high alpha with. I'm not getting it too severe being that the gusty wind today. We do have some other videos of it though where it really can do some crazy stuff. So let's go up. I've got 100% rates. Now some of you guys might want to tone down your ailerons. I set mine up for 100% elevator and aileron, and then I can cut it down to 80% aileron and elevator, or 65 as my low. And I have that all the way around. I do it on 2 switches, that way that I can choose in flight what I want at the time. As you can see, this airplane is very capable. For a fun little park jet, I'm power off again, just coming by. Power on, tons of horsepower. I mean, you get tons of power with this thing. This is on a 4S 2200. I'm going to try and pull it up into the alpha real severe here. Let's see, the wind has kind of calmed down. You do have a rudder to steer it around with. Plenty of power. Watch this. Punch out. Plenty of power. Such a fun little airplane. Now I do have kind of an aft CG with mine right now, which is great for slow flight and high alpha. I would definitely recommend moving the battery forward a little bit if you're wanting to penetrate wind and go a little faster. But like I said, mine's set up right now. We've got that headwind hitting us right in the front, slowing the model down. No gyro in it. Such a fun airplane. Let's get a little more speed on this one. I'm going to go down to my low rates. Get a little bit less twitchy. And up. Power off. Go back into my high rates. Pull it around with the rudder. It's such a good airplane for high alpha. Just a ball. I'm telling you, this is probably one of my favorite of all the 64s in our lineup. If you haven't ever had an F-16, there's just something about them. They fly so stable. No need for the gyro in this one. If you want one, you can put it in there, but you really don't need it. When an airplane's this stable, loop. And like I said, this is with about 10-mile-an-hour wind right now. You can just toss it around and have a ball. Plenty of power. And you get a nice long flight time. I've been setting mine to 4 minutes with the 2200 4S. And of course I do useful throttle time, so anytime I'm out of the power like now, it's not counting against me. Look at it, just stable as can be. And I love having the rudder. A lot of 64s didn't have the rudder, and this really makes a difference of being able to do high alpha and being able to steer it around nicely. I mean, that's where it just shines, is doing the high alpha. Plenty of punch, like I said. All right, well, let's bring it in. I think we still have some time left on our timer, but what we're gonna do, and this is what you need to do with yours, is bring it in high alpha. So we're gonna get the nose up, get it turned in, and we're gonna fly it to us using the throttle here. Pull up, power off, just like that. You're not gonna hurt your model at all doing that. So let's go get it. Let's get you over to the bench and get you a battery report and show you some of the important things to do with your model to be successful with it. All right, so there's another successful flight on our little 64 F-16 from Freewing. This model is actually a superb model to learn your high alpha maneuvers with, or if you're just looking for a really stable park jet, this one is a perfect fit. It does come with the wheels. I have removed them for this flight, but if you want to take off and land off of a runway, there is no issue with that. But if you got tall grass like we do at this field, all you do is just pop them off. They're real simple to get in on and off. Let's talk about a few things that I've heard in the comment sections of some of our videos and I want to address here. One thing you really need to do with your model right out of the box after you get it set up and you're ready to fly is a throttle calibration. It's as simple as taking your radio, putting your throttle to full, there we go, and then plugging in your model. You'll hear the beeps, beep beep, and then you pull your throttle stick back down to the bottom. This will calibrate the ESC to know where the bottom and the top of your throttle range is. If you don't do that, you may not have as much power as what you're seeing in the video here. You need to make sure you do that, and you're going to have ample amounts of power. As you saw, I could come by just almost at a crawl, go full throttle, and go straight up. It really has a ton of horsepower. Now, as far as CG goes, you can see here where I have my battery, right here. Mine's about, half an inch away from the servo arm here. Now, that's a little bit more forward than the CG marks on the wings. As you can see, they're right here, which puts you about, right here. Now, I like to go about 5 millimeters in front of the CG marks on the wing, and the airplane seems to fly very stable to me in high alpha. If I want to penetrate the wind a little bit better, you can actually see there's these 3 ribs right here. You can see where I put my little dent where my CG mark is for whenever I'm doing high alpha. But if you move forward, see these 3 lines, this front line right here, if you balance it off of that, it's going to penetrate the wind a little bit better, and it's going to fly a little bit faster, more maneuverable as far as locked in feeling. You just won't get as good a high alpha performance out of it. But I like to err a little bit more on the nose heavy side. You'll just have to slide that battery forward a little bit. I actually put some double-sided sticky under mine, so I can't slide it right now. But yeah, that's kind of where I would tell you to do that. Same thing like I was telling you in the video, now I can show you my rates. So this is my 100% elevator and aileron. And then if I flip my switch, you can see it goes down and down again. So that's 100, 80, and 65 for my rates. And like I said, it's also very important when you're setting this model up to make sure you use those center holes on the front and the back. And then on the arm itself, you need to make sure you're using the correct holes per the manual. This is set up exactly by the manual, so if you follow that, you're going to be good. If you don't follow this, the airplane may not fly correctly, so make sure you set it up per the manual and where that is. Also, we've had some customers worried about the ventral fins. As you've seen, I've been flying mine off of the grass out here. As long as you bring it in nice and gentle like that, you won't have any issue breaking these. But if you do, there's just 2 screws to take them off and screw the new ones on. You could always just cut a piece of these out of some light wood if you wanted to make you some extra sets, but I haven't damaged any yet flying it. But like I said, it's very easy to replace them if you do for some reason. All right, let's get a battery report. So this is the Admiral 2200 45C 4S battery. And I'm going to unplug it real quick and get it out of the bottle. There we go. All right, so there is 380 a cell and 36% left on our battery. I'm sure we have that full flight time down there in the corner for you, as always. But yeah, that's about perfect. So like I said, I'm setting mine to 4 minutes of useful throttle time, flying it very mixed like this. Now, if you're gonna fly full throttle for a bunch of the flight, I would tell you to probably set it to 3 on your first couple flights, and it's always good to come down a little early anyway. Leave you some tank gas left so you can actually get down if you need to do a go around or anything. So for your first couple flights, probably set this to 3 minutes. Well guys, that's it. This is the 64mm F-16. If you haven't tried it yet, I highly recommend it. This is definitely a fun airplane to fly. I've really been enjoying it, and it's one that you can take anywhere and fly this. As far as, you know, whether your runway's nice or not, you're going to be able to fly this airplane. So whether it be land, sea, or air, Motion RC has something for everyone. If you haven't already thought about it, hit that subscribe button down in the corner. We put up new content all the time on new products here at Motion RC. Join us over on Hobby Squawk. There's a discussion on all these different models there where you can ask your questions and learn. And there's also the Motion RC Facebook community where you can ask questions to your fellow pilots. Don't just go off of me. If you don't believe me, you can ask them what their successes have been, and you can see how they set up their models for success. We'll see y'all in the next episode. We're gonna get this thing out here and fly it some more. We'll see ya.